Mellow greetings, everybody. My name is James. I am from the internet, and today we're going to be talking about post-apocalyptic fiction. Now, the fiction of the post-apocalypse future has been with us for as long as there has been media. For myself, personally, probably goes back to the 70s or the 80s, comes through here, everything from the earlier films, Blade Runner, Logan's Run, going to the 80s where it took a really weird turn and we had like Total Recall and Demolition Man, and now we're in like season 10 of The Walking Dead, and I'm still surprised there are any human beings left on that show that aren't zombies or zombie food, but I digress. This is a large thing and a lot of people are into it. However, most people understand that post-apocalyptic fiction is fiction. Now, there happens to be one place on the face of the planet where people are seemingly working in tandem to do everything they can to make post-apocalyptic fiction a reality. So today, before I break for the weekend, I thought I would give you an overview of what's going on down in Florida. All right, here we go. Florida restaurant owner posts sign telling Biden supporters to take business elsewhere. Wow, it's been a while since the United States had big signs in the doors of businesses telling you that only certain people are allowed to come in off the street, but, well, there you have it. Some of the fine folk who undoubtedly are the reason why Ron DeSantis is the current governor of the state and the presumed 2024 Republican nominee. Let's find out about the fine folk down in Florida. A Florida restaurant owner raised eyebrows after posting a sign outside the front door telling Biden supporters to dine elsewhere, citing his recent handling of the American military withdrawal from Afghanistan. Wow, good to know this story was front page news on Fox News. As always, bringing you the hard-hitting facts in a manner that is both fair and balanced. Quote, "If you voted for and continue to support and stand behind the worthless, inept, and corrupt administration currently inhabiting the White House that is complicit in the death of our servicemen and women in Afghanistan, please take your business elsewhere." The sign reads, posted outside the DeBarry Diner in DeBarry, Florida. Now, of course, this is the part of the show where a rational person would insert a couple of facts into this diatribe and explain how Donald Trump, via Mike Pompeo, had signed numerous deals with both the government of Afghanistan and the Taliban to complete the U.S. withdrawal of troops, and that all of this was done long before Biden came to office. But of course, facts have no place in an ideological diatribe. Also, I'd like to point out that this fine human being, absolutely no concern over the 100 or so Afghani people who also got killed in the same blast because, they're not actual people, only American soldiers are. The Afghani people, fuck them, right? But fear not. For every school district that is trying to force your kids to wear face diapers while they read them Marxist CRT books about how white people are horrible, there's a local chiropractor with a photocopy machine and a pen. A Florida school district in Sarasota County overhauled its COVID-19 mask exemption policy after hundreds of people lined up for hours outside a local chiropractic clinic seeking a medical exemption for their children in response to the district's mask mandate. The families lined up outside Twin Palms Chiropractic in Venice on Monday, the same day that the mask mandate in Sarasota County schools went into effect. Wow, way to wait until the last minute there, really good parents. Some people claim that Twin Palms was handing out exemptions too easily. Paulina Testerman, a parent who went to the clinic, said, quote, "We were in and out, came in, signed a clipboard, and handed a sheet. Nobody has to see our children. The forms were pre-signed. There was a stack behind the claims they're seeing online." A spokesperson for Sarasota County Schools told Fox News that the district has since updated its medical exemption requirements. Quote, "The school board's emergency face mask policy mandates that students and employees wear face masks unless they meet certain exemptions or qualify for legally required accommodations. The district is now only accepting mask medical exemptions from medical doctors, osteopathic physicians, or advanced nurse practitioners. What? You're not going to let chiropractors give you a medical exemption notice for wearing a mask during a viral global pandemic. Damn, who got adults in the room in Florida? This one's kind of surprising. Not the chiropractor part. The fact that the school district then went out of its way to close a loophole. I mean, Florida is the loophole state right after they're the we don't care if everybody else lives or dies state. They have a lot of mottos down there in Florida. It's very complex. And then, of course, there is the big kahuna himself. And by big kahuna, I mean mini Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, the man driving the bus off the cliff at 90 miles an hour with an expression of unabashed glee on his pasty fucking face. Ron laying down more mandates. That's right, Ron, the guy who hates, regulation and government intervention and big government, has been signing executive orders quicker than Donald Trump did, and that's literally Donald Trump's third favorite thing to do behind meth and eating Big Macs. But here you go, yet another whopper from Mini Trump. Ask for COVID vaccine proof, face a $5,000 fine in the state of Florida. Why? Because fuck you, that's why. The new statute, which goes into effect on September 16th, states that a business entity may not require patrons or customers to provide any documentation certifying COVID-19 vaccination or post-infection recovery to gain access to, entry upon, or service from the business operations in this state. Yeah, cool. You know what you can't do in Florida is be gay and go to a Christian baker and ask them to bake you a dick cake. Yeah, then local businesses don't have to serve you. It's almost like Ron DeSantis has a specific ideology that he's trying to cram down everybody's throat. And finally, the statute reads, the department may impose a fine not to exceed $5,000 per violation. Now, to be fair, in the state of Florida, they don't have income tax, so they tend to generate most of their state revenue through the revenue pirates, aka the police who pull you over for speeding, and a shit ton of fines and fees attached to everything government, because again, Florida and Ron DeSantis aren't into big government, they're just into government being big enough that it costs you a lot of money. And now, here's an update on that whole Florida doesn't care if the rest of you live or die thing I was telling you about earlier. Florida altered how it measured COVID deaths, making it look like they were declining. That's right, alternative facts, fake news, that sort of thing. Yeah, sure, maybe a lot of people are dying, but if we just change how we report it and the numbers don't reflect it, well then, now fewer people are dying. Look, it says so. The Miami Herald is reporting that Florida changed its methodology in its reports of COVID-related deaths earlier this month. Rather than providing data on deaths after their causes have been determined, by a chief medical officer, the person who determines the actual legal cause of death and then puts it on a death certificate, the state is now just reporting deaths on the day that they occurred, with no confirmation that they were COVID-related deaths. I wonder how this is altering their statistics, data, and reporting numbers. The seemingly insignificant change has drastic repercussions. Oh, well, thank you for letting me know. If Florida had continued using the old method of reporting deaths, its tally on Monday would have shown an average of 262 daily deaths in the state for the previous 7 days. Instead, it only reported 46, quote, new deaths per day for the previous 7 days, a measure that's about 82% lower than what it ought to be. But again, this is Florida. And apparently not only does Florida not care if everybody else dies, Florida doesn't care if they die. And now to finish this all up, here's Ron DeSantis with some virtue signaling that is going to actually lead to actual children actually starving to death in the near post-apocalyptic homeland known as Florida. Governor DeSantis snubbed $820 million in federal food aid and won't say why. Let's read a paragraph or two and then maybe I will hazard a guess as to why. Nobody's going to bed hungry tonight in the governor's mansion. Too bad that's not the case across the state. Yet Governor Ron DeSantis is apparently leaving up to $820 million in federal food assistance on the table, and he won't explain why. Does he have a reason, or is it just a really bad one? Why not both? More than 4 months after Florida could have first applied for the aid, the Times-Herald in Tallahassee reported this week it remains unclear if state officials are seeking the money, which is enough to feed 2.1 million children in low-income homes. Oh wait, people in low-income homes, fuck them, right? More than 80 advocacy groups, including food banks across the state of Florida, signed onto a letter Monday calling on DeSantis to seek the money. But DeSantis' office hasn't answered repeated questions from the Times-Herald about the status of any request. Last week, the governor's spokesperson didn't directly answer the question, replying instead that Florida students can, quote, receive high-quality nutrition directly from our schools. Now, the reason for all of this is simple. I brought it up in a couple of videos, and we discuss it frequently on my live stream. This is all a ploy, a plot, a way to make the poorest of the poor and the most desperate of the most desperate go back to work to take up the shittiest jobs that nobody else wants. Again, currently, federally, we're running a U4 unemployment rate of under 6%, which fairly healthy, all things being equal. The problem is that it's the jobs at the very bottom. That's that 5%. The people who literally have to clean shit off of stuff for minimum wage, those are the jobs that people are still trying to get filled in their businesses. Now, of course, Ron DeSantis, the amazing tiny little mini capitalist that he is, understands that the best motivator of all to force people to take the shittiest jobs of them all is fear. Fear of starving, fear of going hungry, fear of your children growing hungry. So when Ron DeSantis tells you that schools are going to open no matter what, and hey, don't worry, your kids can eat food at lunch, that's his way of telling them that all of you single parents out there and you people are really behind it who can't afford daycare because daycare costs more than you would actually make at a job. Well, here you go, people, poor people, desperate people with kids. Your kids, they're back to having 6 hours a day of mandatory state daycare. So, time to shake your poor, desperate asses back to work. That's right, single moms. That's right, parents with too many bills who lost the good job they used to have. McDonald's still needs somebody to scrub the toilets. DeSantis still needs somebody to get a pole with a rake on it and clean all the butt wipes out of the fucking sewer processing systems. These are the jobs that are still available. And for some seemingly unknown reason, people aren't rushing to go out and go do them for $7.25 an hour. So Ron DeSantis is doing you all a favor and giving you the proper motivation. And that motivation is the impending homelessness or starvation of you, your children, and your entire family. Because that is how Ron DeSantis rolls down in the lovely state of Florida. Until next time. My name is James, I am from the internet, and I am out. Peace.